What's up, guys? I'm Doofus Mcdooface, and this is the continuation of the unit breakdown series. Got some great feedback and some really good help that's going to help this series maybe be a little more efficient. So, without further ado, let's go for our next T1. Let's go for Seedling, and I need to make sure that this is a fast video because Seedling is so amazing. Alright, so the new idea for this was BAM, typing. Unit typing is the first criteria, right? When is this unit good? Well, first things first, you can use it in two different ways. You can use the Seedling as just helping out, right? You can just use it as a Seedling tier 1. It's really good with flower early, right? It's AoE. It's actually like the highest damage, because it's AoE, the highest damage of a T1 per its cost. I actually don't know how it does more damage than a mask, but that's what it is. Most people are going to use it for the Chloropixie, right? They'll use it for the Chloropixie as Fiesta, or not Fiesta, just so that you get the Mythium, because you get 6 Mythium when the unit dies, only when it dies. Or they would upgrade it to Sakura and do the opposite, and try to have it never leak. Right? You try to never have it leak. So if we're talking about typing, let me pull up my wave guide here. Let me pull up my wave guide. If you go Sakura or Chloropixie, right? You are strong 1, 2, right? I mean, if you're fiesting, that's totally different, right? But if we're just talking purely the typing, on wave 3, DT can of course hurt you, but if you don't receive a DT, you're going to shred it, and all you need is that right there. Holds 60. This holds 60 on wave 3 if you're playing Sakura. Wave 4, you could leak a 60 with the same, but you're still pretty good on wave 4. You're amazing wave 5. Wave 6, you're still pretty darn good. Oh, it's wave 1. it's wave 1. Also, you have to get the Sakura stack, so I would leak on wave 3, as I almost leak here, right? Because you get the stack, right? Every wave you live, you get a stack. Wave 6, you can leak to imps, but I would still say that Sakura, you're great on wave 6. Right? I would still say that you're amazing on wave 6. So that would be, actually, I just sort of skipped ahead to the next part of this video. I just said that imps. So if you're trying to leak a Sakura pre-wave 7, right? We all know wave 7, Mimic or Brutes, right? If you don't know that, I'll talk about that in a second. But if you're going to try to send a Sakura on wave 5, right, it's doable, or on wave 6, imps is going to be your best. It's just going to be amazing, right? If you send imps, it is a risk, because if the Sakura holds, then they might not leak 7, which is their most vulnerable wave and the easiest wave to kill a Sakura player, right? So imps is going to be the way to go, because they are magic, right? Just like the DT, magic into the natural, and they just shred through it. They just shred through everything. I normally wouldn't send, if I'm sending a Sakura, right? I'll just focus on Sakura. We'll get to the Pixie Fiesta. But if I'm sending a Sakura, I'm gonna try a big 3, right? I mean, I'd love to get 2 DTs on 3, right? If I could get 2 DTs on 3, that bad boy's leaking. Or that person is like 3 workers and has 400 value. And then your teammate is getting a massive advantage. I like resending 4, right? And then if you're going to go nasty, you just go straight 7 from there. You could go 3 into 7. You could go 3 into 6 and hopefully catch them shifting, right? And then you send the imps. Or worst case, like Brutes, right? If you got 2 brutes, that's gonna be better than Imp Snail, right? On wave 6, I would say so, as long as you get income for both of them. But yeah, 7 of course is the best wave, and then you want to try that resend on 8, right? You really want to try that resend on 8 because you can be probably 10-15 over on 8 and still leak if you don't have the proper units with Sakura. Just like on wave 7, you could be 100 over and still leak to the double or triple brooder just because of how weak Sakura is, right? Splitting purposes, sort of showed you this, guys. What I think a lot of people don't do properly is on wave 7, you want your Sakura to tank, but not too much, right? You want her to tank like 40%, right? So that's going to be close. I would do something like this, right? I want the Sakura to tank about 40% of this, right? Of the wave. So if you're going to be like a mathematician, 40% of the whole wave would be, I don't know, bad math. Disregard my math. I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. And it probably dies because it doesn't have the stacks. See, it's tanking a lot of it, right? It's tanking a good amount of it, but this steed was also tanking with it, right? So this was fine. That was just fine, right? And that's what you want to do. What you can't do, you can't have it not tank at all, right? You can't have it not tank at all on 7 or you're going to leak. If it does not tank at all on 7, you're going to leak. Alright, that is just simple. Oh. And then the steeds would come up. The steeds would come up, you know. But yeah. The steeds need to be like just within the circle, right? Right there would be okay. Even right there is right? It's going to tank like 1 to 2 creeps, I'd say. Right? But you need to use your Sakura's health pool wave 7 right? Pre-wave 7 and on wave 7. No matter how big the send you're getting, you need to use some of your Sakura's health pool. And that's what a lot of people do bad, right? Like, a lot of people will have it like that, and then they put like... Don't do that. Don't do that. That is not beneficial. You want to use the health pool. I mean, it has more health than both steeds combined. And that's with 2 stacks, right? Now, wave 8, this is another tricky one, right? You need a T1 right there, or if you want to play it safe, right there, right? You're going to sell it, but this is protecting your Sakura on wave 8. And this is where a lot of people kill their Sakura, even when they don't get a send, right? Because it's ranged, they're going to attack, right? See, she tanked 1 or 2, perfectly fine. Exceptional, right? We're using her health pool, but she's not going to die if I had, you know, actual units. Next, so 8, you're still pretty weak. You need to be on value and then some. 9, you're pretty strong. Now, people could catch you shifting on 9, right? They could catch you shifting on 9 because 10, you're complete garbage, right? 10 is another wave where you can be like 100 over and leak with Sakura. So to summarize Sakura and Seedling, right? You need to be really strong on 7, right? You need Arcane and Pierce for 7. So if that's Archer, if that's Masks, if that's a Bunk, if it's Gargoyles, you need something. You need some help on 7 and 8 because even if the people don't starve you, right? If they send you every wave, and then they send a brute on 7, you could leak. And that just, it starts a cascade, right? It starts a snowball effect where you leak. In addition, wave 10, right? So you need something tasty for wave 10. You can get a full Theta. If you had like Nightmare Butcher or something, Tempest Army with like Leviathans, Sky Queens, Daphnes, right? You need something really strong on 10 because you are super weak, right? You're super weak on 10 as well. And then 11, right? 11, you're pretty good, but you got to protect her, right? You got to protect her. And some people even go second Sakura on 11, right? If you're going to go second Sakura on 11, you need to expect the send on wave 14, right? You're probably going to receive a send on 14 anyhow, but if you go second Sakura, they can either send a very small resend on 12, right? Assuming they send 10. You can assume a small resend on 12, which could get you, depending on what your other units are. If you have, like, Leviathans, right? If you had Leviathans, you look good, but you have no tanks, right? There's 0 tankage, right? These are ranged DPS. This is ranged DPS. So do you have the tankage? But yeah, wave 14, you're pretty bad. They send you wave 13, you should just hold. Wave 15, you're a god. Wave 16, you're not amazing. And then from there, it just depends on your other units. Like, yeah, Sakura's great damage, but once you get in the deeper waves, not as effective. Hope I didn't miss anything there. But yeah, 14. 14 is, if you're in the lead, right? Because, of course, it depends on your teammate, right? If you are the person in the lead on your team, you're probably going to receive a send on 14 with 1 or 2 Sakuras, right? With 1 or 2 Sakuras, you're going to receive a send on 14. And that's why Pierce or Impact Arcane is so important, right? If you can get a Sakura, Willowstream would work, right? Willowstream would work. But I was looking for Doomsday. If you had a Doomsday, oh, that is so amazing. So amazing. Wow, this video is going really long. All right. Pixies, right? My favorite is, of course, the Pixies, right? I love the Pixies. I love the Fiesta. We all know it. So, basic Pixie guide here. Wave 1, bam. You leak either 1 or 2. To a snail, you leak 58%. This is beautiful. I usually just push the 6th worker, get a seedling in the split, you leak a lot. Or you can just do like a cheap T2. Cheap T2, you leak a lot better, but you don't get the 6th worker. Wave 3, you have to have a seedling in the right with an even split, because if the DT, watch this. Watch this. So many people screw this up. I've screwed this up, right? This is why you also want to build your stuff on the left, right? DT goes left, right? Now you're going to struggle. You're going to kill the DT and then kill like 2 creeps, right? 94% leak. 94% leak. But if you have the DT go right, right? And this is an AoE thing. So what it does, it's going to AoE the little hoppers. And so your pixies will target the hoppers, not the not the DT. Disregard that. Right, now it goes right. You at least got some damage into those guys. You shouldn't target the DT for a very long time, if ever. Right? And you just knocked off 30 to 40% on your Fiesta. Right? Super useful. Now, once again, you're going to receive a big send on 7. Right? You're going to receive a big send on 7. You are really weak 4 here. The problem on wave 4 with Pixie Fiesta is you're not going to kill your pixies, right? With this thing, if you go for a 3rd. Only if you get a send, right? If you do that, you'll kill the one on the right, guaranteed. You might not kill those 2 if you don't get a send. If you don't get a send, this holds. So, wave 4 is a really tough wave for Pixie Fiesta. Really tough wave for Pixie Fiesta. I've done some crazy stuff before, like wave 5. Wave 5, I'm like, okay, well, actually, wrong one. I'm done fiestaing, right? I'm gonna build Sakuras. That's the next level thing. It's all the same concepts as the Sakura. You're really weak 7. You're still weak 8, even if you received a send on 7, and you are garbage on 10, right? So expect to send on 7 and 10 with Pixies and Sakura. That's pretty much it. I love the Pixie Fiesta. We all know that. One last thing. The Seedling can be used in other AoE senses. With Flower, it can work really well, I believe. Where is it? Am I stupid?
Welcome.
I've seen this. I can't guarantee it. I've got to watch this a couple of times, right? I've seen people have Flower, and then they'd have like a Seedling back here, and they hold wave 2 easy. They hold the wave 2 snail easy with just this, because it's the AoE damage. But you need it far enough back. Oh, what the heck? Game sent 2 mimics. You need it far enough back so that it actually doesn't die, right? Because if your Seedling dies, you're going to lose 30% of your damage. Right? This is perfect. Right? You normally need at least a mask or an aqua here to hold the snail. But look at that. Beautiful. That extra 300 damage. You leak a snail, who cares, right? You leak a snail, who cares? I believe it's the same way with Casket. I've done it with the Flower. I have not done it with the Casket. So we're going to need to test that real quick. Don't take my word for it on the Casket. Am I stupid? Yes.
Welcome to Nova.
I think this probably leaks on wave 2. I honestly have no idea. I think you would need 2 seed. Oh. This is wave 3. Alright, well wave 3 it holds easy. Yeah, wave 3 it holds easy. But once again, really risky, right? You could leak everything. I'm still not sure about this. I am not sure about this one. Because I guess it's the RNG of does the Casket get the shot out? There it worked, but that looks really close. If you're going to do that, go for 2 Seedlings, right? If you're going to do that, go for 2 Seedlings. It'll also work on wave 1. But I think that's all I wanted to talk about with the Seedling. I love it. One of my really, really good units. We can actually look at some game stats here. Sakura is in my top 3, right? Because Deep Coil and CC are the same, right? It's one of my only green units, performance-wise. 64% win rate when I open with Sakura. I guess Pixies aren't as good, right? Fiesta gets punished. Right, Fiesta does get punished quite badly. Yeah, 47% with Pixie Fiesta. All the stuff I said about the Pixie Fiesta, don't listen to. But if you have good stuff on 7 and 8, it's gonna pay out, right? If you have good stuff on 7 and 8, and you and your teammate aren't extremely weak on 10, you can get away with it. But I think that's all I wanted to talk about with the Seedling. One of my favorites, and hope this has been useful for you guys. Just look out for those DTs and have Arcane or Pierce or Impact for wave 14. But I'll see you guys next time. Hope you're enjoying these breakdowns.